Hello, I'm Doug Mackenzie here at ITC Europe on behalf of Mapfre, and joining me here today is Yago Sánchez from Control Expert. Yago, how are you? You good?
I'm very good. It's my pleasure to be here today.
It's our pleasure to have you, and I'm really excited to learn a bit more about Control Expert. But before we continue, could you please tell our viewers a bit more about yourself and your role at Control Expert?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, thanks for having me here. I think it's a great opportunity to have this a bit more relaxed way of talking. It's always appreciated. My role in Control Expert, I'm the manager for Spain and Portugal. So we're basically in charge of building the business for Spain and Portugal. I think it's really important not just build the business, but understanding what the market demands.
Yes.
That's a key factor. Like, as in, you wouldn't just take your products and try to sell them. Other people may try to do that, but it's not our approach. I think we need to understand really carefully what's the market doing, which are the traditional practices, to then be able to digitize them and automate them, to don't lose the feeling of the customer. Yeah. That's really important for us.
Well, it's certainly, we're seeing insurtech is focusing on those, well, not just the customer experience, but the customer demands that are now starting to really occur in the insurance industry. So could you maybe detail to our viewers who might not be aware what automatic damage verification is, so we can get a baseline before we go any further?
So what we do is we use AI, artificial intelligence, to locate damages in the vehicle. We're able to determine if there is a damage in any surface of the vehicle and also where it is located, as well as the severity of the damage. So for instance, we could tell the front bumper is damaged, and we could say it's a damage you can repair, or maybe you need to substitute, to change that part. We try to adapt it, and that's really, really interesting to the market needs. That's why I open up the talk with that. It wouldn't be the same in different markets. You wouldn't repair and substitute on the same ratio in different markets. That's why we need to adapt our algorithms to the specific market.
Yeah, I think being able to adapt in this market is so important. But with that in mind, I'm excited to learn a bit more about the partnership between Mapfre and Control Expert. Can you maybe take us through it? How did you contribute to the kind of AI learning models? And also, can you tell us a bit more about the partnership itself?
Yeah, definitely. Actually, we started working with Mapfre in this project in 2020. It took us, the project, just developing this project was about 1.5 years. Just training the algorithm and adapting it to the use case was 1.5 years. For that, we used 35,000 images.
Oh, wow.
We put them on top to configure our algorithm to the specific use case of Mapfre. So with that, we saw a massive increase on the automation capabilities. It's not just about developing great technology, it's developing great technology for a certain process, for a certain use case, certain types of images. And you would see that has a massive impact on the automation capabilities. I think we tech companies are brilliant developing new models, which are technologically really impressive, but sometimes we look at the big pictures and we forget the details. And as we always say, the devil is in the details, right?
Yes, yeah, and being able to afford that kind of granular detail is something that maybe large insurers had previously struggled with, and now, because they're leveraging organizations like Control Expert, you can really dig down into those details. So I'm really intrigued into the technology behind this. How did you at Control Expert actually create a technology where you could see the difference between just simple bumps and scratches and then actual interior damage that could lead to a claim?
Throughout this process of adapting our algorithm to the Spanish market, and most specifically to the use case of Mapfre, we retrained the algorithm with 35,000 pictures. Now, those pictures were labeled by car experts from Control Expert, with the support of Mapfre and SESBIMAP, their technical center. And in that labeling process, you would not only locate the damage on the surface on certain parts of the car, but also you would label the severity of the damage. So that means I know what is a scratch because I labeled it as a scratch. I know what's a dent because we labeled it as a dent. And I know what is a breakage because we labeled it so. From that, we would infer the repair method and finally the repair cost of the claim. And that's the point. You need to know if you need to exchange that part, you can repair it, you can paint it.
Amazing. Now, obviously, with that many photos, you've got a lot of data to work with. But when I think of, for instance, a broken down vehicle, maybe this is a very British concept, but think of a rainy road. On the side, it's dark, it's at night. How could you improve the algorithm's accuracy to be able to see through that kind of, maybe if the policyholder has given you a bad image?
I love that question. And I love that question because sometimes we make the mistake of underestimating this process. Yeah? Obviously, the quality of the images will have a direct impact on the capabilities of automated detection of damages. So we need to support the customer. And what we did is building our capturing tool, what we call our customer journey, and we loaded it with AI functionalities. So for instance, we can understand if when we're taking a picture, it's a car in the picture, we can understand which side of the car is it. We can check the resolution and the quality of the picture, the lighting. We can make sure all the parts of the car are visible to 100%. So with that, we ensure when we receive those pictures, we can process them with our algorithm. So the job is done previously. You see, that's the point.
Yeah.
And that's really interesting. What you cannot allow yourself to do is 2 days later, request again new pictures, because that's going to be really annoying. And it's going to look in front of the insurer that you're failing at some part of the process.
Yeah.
So we took one step back and we said, let's support the guys. Let's support our customers. Let's make it right from the beginning.
I think that's so brilliant to hear how policyholders are being looked after before the payout, making sure that everything's fine and not fraudulent, but going in with the sense that you are a policyholder, we trust you, you're a client of ours, and that approach seems far more friendly, and I think that's absolutely amazing. Now I'm going to explore the collaboration with Mapfre a bit more, and I want to know, because when people think of traditional insurers, sometimes the image is not as if they are on the forefront of innovation, but Mapfre seem to have embraced innovation by working with partners like Control Expert. Can you talk to our viewers a bit more about what each organization brought to the dynamic?
Yeah, it's important to speak about the roles we had in this project. We had tech project managers, we had data scientists, we had AI experts. And all that we could imagine, right? We could imagine that's going to be there. Now, the really nice part and important part is that we also had car experts and experts from Map, the tech center from Mapfre. And those are key players because those are the people who will make you understand what's the use case and how is the market behaving. Applying technology, for instance, in Germany, in Spain, will be different because the markets are different. So what we did is obviously the data scientists and the AI experts of Control Expert brought their experience in terms of analyzing massive data pools, developing the AI models, adapting them to the use case. But then there was this other part of the car experts from Mapfre and the Map experts from Mapfre that said, in the market we kind of do it this way, so you need to adapt your algorithm to do it also this way. And that was a brilliant part of the cooperation, in my opinion.
Absolutely amazing. We saw it in banking, maybe a decade before, where the banks provided their own expertise and then the fintechs provided theirs. We're starting to see that in insurance and insurtech, and I love this collaboration model rather than competition. But now I'm going to focus on the customer again, and you've told us about how we'd go from the policyholder taking a video of their broken down vehicle. But now let's focus on the payout element. What are the steps between taking the video, then a follow-up video, to actually the policyholder getting a payout?
So for instance, we want to make a live process. Yeah? If you allow me, I will take as an example because I think it's really, really easy. I'll take the subscription process, and it's a very delicate moment as well.
Right.
For instance, let's imagine, I think we need to, we are all doing this. We're making a transition between generations right now. And a much more digital generation is coming. I would like to think about myself, I belong to that generation. I'm not sure if that's true, but I would like to think that. Yeah. So when I see myself purchasing a new policy, when I see myself, the image I have in my head is me 9 p.m. on my couch, checking different options on the internet. And if I can have it in 20 minutes, I would go with that option. So with tech companies, with insurtechs, we need to enable that. So let me give you a practical example. Imagine you're checking 3 different insurance companies.
Yeah.
And one of them tells you, if you take a few pictures of your car now, we will do the risk inspection in seconds, and you will have your policy, and we'll be able to give you a discount.
Yeah.
if you have a vehicle in good conditions, and that in real time, well, that will create a massive competitive advantage in front of other insurances. I can tell you, I'll go with that guy that gives me the policy in 20 minutes.
Yeah. What I love about this is no longer is insurance a race to the bottom just in terms of, well, we can offer the cheapest policy. It's now value-added products like this are coming out, and people are going to become selective and demand more from their insurance.
Absolutely.
It's a very exciting dynamic.
And going to the claims area a bit, like payout, we want to do a similar thing. We want to be able to, and we are doing this already live in different countries. We want to evaluate the damages present in the car using AI, and then estimate which is the type of damage, access the database, check out what's the part of the spare part, what's the cost of the spare parts, and then be able to produce really a complete appraisal and do a cash offer to the customer. So basically, you could have the indemnification for that claim in your pocket, meaning bank account, in a matter of minutes, and that's impressive.
That's incredible. That's so good. Now, I guess really, to kind of wrap up, we've talked about the current relationship, how you guys started, but what's the future holding for Mapfre and Control Expert together?
Yeah, I'm very happy I can tell that that work we started in 2020, we brought it to life. It's on production now, so we can see already people on the streets using our solution, benefiting from that live process. And now the goal is, we have that in Spain. We're already live in Spain on production with Mapfre. Control Expert wants to bring that to many other countries, many other markets, and Mapfre too. So what we are doing right now is carefully analyzing which are the requirements of the different markets to be able to adapt our algorithm to the different markets, right? So for instance, we did a project with Mapfre last year to adapt the algorithm we developed for Spain to the Latin region. What happens in the Latin region is that the use case is a bit different, the vehicle types are a bit different. So I think it would be a mistake to assume that that algorithm you trained for Spain would work the same, would perform the same in Latam. We measured it and we observed it wasn't the case. So we did retrain the algorithm to the Latam use case, and now the goal is to expand the project to Latam and also other regions in the world.
Well, world domination sounds absolutely brilliant when you're improving the customer's life like you are. So, Yago, gracias. It's
Thank
been a
you
pleasure.
so much. Muchas gracias.
It's been perfect.
Muchas gracias.